Holy Sri Gajanan Swami ki. Devotees, let us begin with our opening prayer as we prepare for this morning service. Let me welcome you, those of you who are here and those who have joined us online. Blessings. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Shri Saraswatyaya Namah. Om Shanno Mitraha Sham Varunah Shanno Bhavat Aryama Shanna Indro Brihaspati Shanno Vishnu Rukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tanmamavatu tarvataramavatu, avatu maham avatu vaktaram, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Holy Sri Gajanan Swami ki jai. Beh jaiye. Devotees, we will proceed with our chaupais. Very powerful mantras, so let's join together. नगर कीजिए सब काज हृदय रखी कशपुर राज रथ चरिसिया सहित दू नहीं अवधई शीर नहाई जाके सुमिरन तेरी नाश नाम शत्रुहन वीर प्रकाश विश्वभरण पोषण कर जोई कर नाम भरकस होई जब तेरा रामा जब तेरा राम ब्याही घर धर्म में असरथ जाकी जीत न कहन कत हुई की जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय जय सीता राम जय जय राम वह शोभा जो समझ सुख कहतन बने खगेश वरने शारद शेष सुति सुरस जान महेश सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम वंदो पवन कुमार खलबन पवक ज्ञान घन जासु हृदय बस ही राम शरचाप धरा 12 अक्षर मंत्र ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Devotees, you know what you're concentrating upon? Visualize that Virat Swarup. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Swami ki jai. Devotees, we will glorify the Panchadevata as suitably perform their puja. Remember, I have explained what these Panchadevata represent. Different levels. We visualize the 5 forms because man thinks in images. So there is Ganesh Baba, Devi, Shivaji, Vishnu Bhagwan, Suraj Narayan Swami, Shivaji of course. And there's personification for each one. I reminded you that each one of these aspects, 5 of them, happen to be the Adhishtatri Devata or the presiding deity of the Panch Tattva. Vishnu Bhagwan, Akash Tattva. Suraj Narayan, Vayu Tattva. Devi Ma, Shakti, Agin Tattva. Gajanan Swami, Jal Tattva. And Shivaji, Prithvi Tattva. And I reminded you also, try to remember, never forget these things. The quality of Akash is sound. The quality of Vayu is touch, the tactile sense, and also sound. The quality of Agin, form, touch and sound. The quality of Jal, the previous tree and add taste to it. And then Prithvi, the previous 4 and scent. These represent the Gyan Indriyas in each of us. So when I worship, psychologically I worship the 5 Devatas, Pancha Devata, but imagine what I am doing. But ultimately it redounds to my benefit that I am purifying my Gyan Indriyas, the senses of perception. And why do I need to purify them? Because I perceive this world through the senses and of course the mind. If the senses are not purified, then we pick up grossness, impurities. If the senses are purified, we pick up the subtleties, the purity that exists all around us. So devotees, it is not just a simple thing. It's a whole journey, very comprehensive. But if I just do it right, I focus, I make my right effort, the results are obtained. So, Panchadevata. He Ramba Hare Jai, He Ramba Hare. In case you have forgotten, He Ramba is another name for the Lord Ganesh. He Ramba. He Ramba Hare Jai, He Ramba Hare. 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 Jai Devi Hare, Jai Jai Devi Hare. Jai Durga Hare, Jai Jai Devi Hare. Jai Durga Hare, Jai Jai Devi Hare. Jai Durga Hare, Jai Jai Devi Hare. Jai Shiva Hare, Jai Jai Shiva Hare. Jai Shiva Hare, Jai Jai Shiva Hare. Jai Shiva Hare, Shiva Shankar Hare. Jai Shiva Hare, Shiva Shankar Hare. Jai Vishnu Hare, Jai Jai Vishnu 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 Hare. Aditya Hare, Jai Aditya 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 Hare. O japa kar yahi naam man bhavare. O japa kar yahi naam man bhavare. जपा कर यही नाम मन बावरे. ओ जपा कर यही नाम मन बावरे. जय राम हरे, जय जय कृष्ण हरे. 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 ओ जपा कर यही नाम मन भरे. जय राम हरे, जय जय कृष्ण हरे. ओ जपा कर यही नाम मन भरे. जय राम हरे, जय जय कृष्ण हरे. O japa kar yahi naam man bhavare. O crazy mind, chant these names. So the Pancha Devata, I've explained what those things represent. There are 5 senses. But what controls the senses? The mind. So, oh crazy mind, chant the name. If you want to control the senses, you can't be that crazy to not to identify and have that power to control. So you see, devotees, every kirtan has a journey. It has a philosophy that underlies it, as well as a very simple devotional aspect of it. So, oh crazy mind, oh manabhavari, japo, chant this name. And devotees, this is, all scriptures tell us that the way in this age especially, all the rituals and so on are perfectly in order, but regularly on a daily basis, whatever we do, Ram bhajo savakantejo. Whatever you do, devotees, that name should be chanted, the power of the name. Remember, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in the 18th chapter of the Gita, think of me constantly, that's one thing. Worship me, 2. Bow down to me, 3. Chant my name, 4. These are practices we can carry out based upon time, place and circumstances. So I can think of the Lord all the time. In what way? Everything I do in life is an act of offering to Him. So He's in my mind. Circumstances allow, I come to a temple, holy places, the murtis are there, I bow down. Yeah? Devotees, opportunities avail themselves. Chant, 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 chant and be happy. You see, these actions are given to us, not one or the other, but all, dependent upon circumstances where we find ourselves. But the idea is that we need to keep doing that all the time. Then you become more aware of that divine. You live for Him. And He says, by so doing, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, you come to me. So devotees, we do these practices not just for singing's sake. It represents a journey. So we have to understand that journey. And, depends on where you are. The idea is, don't neglect to keep reflecting upon that divine in whatever way you can. Whether you're bowing down, whether you're thinking of Him, whether you're chanting His name, whether you're worshipping Him, however it may be. But let that Lord be the dominant factor in your lives. Life is nothing but an empty dream unless one realizes that's supreme. We do have one. Let's concentrate in the fire for one moment. Om ang Jolit Mukhi Arun Mata Varun Pita Shandil Gotra Pavakanam Agni Devai Namostute Om Agach Devadevi Shate Jorasi Jagatpate Kriyamanang Maya Pujang Grihan Surasatama Om Nana Ratna Samayuktam Karta Swara Vibhushatam Asanam Devadevisha Pricharitam Pratigrihitam. Pass water along the fire 3 times, off it on the leaf. Om Gangaschaiva Godavari Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhi Kuru Shuddho Dakshnanam Samarpayami. Gayatri mantra, everybody. Harihi Om Tat Sat, Harihi Om Tat Sat, Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Only when I say Swaha, you repeat an awful little drop. Om Prajapati Swaha, Idam Prajapati Idam Namama. Om Indrayi Swaha, Idam Indrayi Idam Namama. Om Agni Swaha, Idam Agni Idam Namama. Om Somayi Swaha, Idam Somayi Idam Namama. Om Bhu Swaha, Idam Agni Idam Namama. Om Bhuva Swaha, Idam Vayavi Idam Namama. Om Swaha Swaha, Idam Suryai Idam Namama. Ganganapate Namah 11 times. Om Ganganapate Namah Swaha. Om Hrim Sim Chandikaya Namah. Om Krim Kaliyai Namah. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Mata. Om Shrim Hrim Saraswatyai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम नमो भगवते नारायणाय। ओम श्री सूर्याय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय। ओम श्री अग्निदेवाय स्वाहा, इष्टदेवाय स्वाहा, कुलदेवाय स्वाहा, अष्टांगदेवाय स्वाहा, ग्रामदेवाय स्वाहा, वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा, सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवी भ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। मृत्युंजय मंत्र जाप. You have the bay leaves here? Yeah, get them. No, yeah, right. 11, you have 11 inside. So devotees normal with our Bij mantras. Yeah? Boliye Shri Umarpati Mahadev ki. Om Haum, Om Jum, Om Sah, Om Bhur. Swaha.
Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshyamamrita. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhur, Om Saha, Om Jum, Om Haum, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Haum, Om Jum, Om Saha, Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshyamamrita. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhur, Om Saha, Om Jum, Om Haum, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Haum, Om Jum, Om Saha, Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshyamamrita. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhur, Om Saha, Om Jum, Om Haum, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Haum, Om Jum, Om Saha, Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshyamamrita. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhur, Om Saha, Om Jum, Om Haum, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Haum, Om Jum, Om Saha, Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshyamamrita. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhur, Om Saha, Om Jum, Om Haum, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Haum, Om Jum, Om Saha, Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityor Mukshyamamrita. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhur, Om Saha, Om Jum, Om Haum, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Haum, Om Jum, Om Saha, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha, Om Trayambakam Yajamahe, Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam, Urvarukamiva Bandhanan, Mrityur Mukshyamamritan. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhu, Om Saha, Om Ju, Om Hom, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Hom, Om Ju, Om Saha, Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha, Om Trayambakam Yajamahe, Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam, Urvarukamiva Bandhanan, Mrityur Mukshyamamritan. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhu, Om Saha, Om Ju, Om Hom, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Hom, Om Ju, Om Saha, Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe, Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam, Urvarukamiva Bandhanan, Mrityur Mukshyamamritan. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhu, Om Saha, Om Ju, Om Hom, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha. Om Hom, Om Ju, Om Saha, Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe, Sukhandim Pushtivardhanam, Urvarukamiva Bandhanan, Mrityur Mukshyamamritan. Om Swaha, Om Bhuva, Om Bhu, Om Saha, Om Ju, Om Hom, Om Namah Shivaya, Swaha.
Boliye Shri Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Alright, just put the name for 25. Yeah. Om Namaschandikaya Swaha. Or for some Google, rice, sugar, ghee, mix up everything together. Om Sarva Devata Sarva Devi Bhyo Namo Namah Swaha. Alright, Achman. Om Sarva Papaharang Dibyam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanang Chamaya Dattam Grahitam Purushotamaha. Take a flower and fan the fire to Vajibiri 5 times. Vanaspati Rasodbhuto Gandhadhyo Gandha Uttama Agheyang Sarvadevanang Dhupoyam Pratigrihitam. Bow to the fire. Right. You offer the prasad already? Oh, come pick out the prasad. No, that is for the Havan. In Ayurveda. Pick up the Veda. Right. So let's hold it. The one for Lord Ganesh, Shanta Putra Bitani fire. Ganganapataye Namaswaha. Next one, Devi. Durga Mata Namaschandikaya Swaha. Again from Vaidya, Mahanyapurna Devi Swaha. Shivaji, Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Right, so we offer it. Ganesh Bhagwan, Durga Ma, Mahadev Baba, Naivedyam Samarpayami. Om Sharkara Khand Khadyani, Dadhi Chir Hitani Sha, Aharam Bhaksha Bhujam Cha, Naivedyam Pratigrihitam. Boliye Shri Gajanan Swami ki jai, Jagadamba Mata ki jai, Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Offer water in it 3 times, a drop of water. Achmanam Samarpayami. All right. You offer the flowers in front of the murtis and put Baki Prasad. We concentrate on Lakshmi Mata for a moment, devotees. You will take a flower and concentrate on Mahalakshmi Ma. Om Namostestu Mahamai Sipite Surpujite Shankha Chakra Gadahaste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Namaste Garurarudhe Kola Surbhayankari Sarva Papahare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Sarvagya Sarva Varade Sarva Dushta Bhayankari Sarva Dukkhare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayini Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Shvetambar Dhare Devi Nana Lankara Bhushite Jagat Schite Jagan Matar Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Lakshmi Karutu Kalyanam Arogyam Sukha Sampadam Mama Shatru Vinashaya Deepa Jyotir Namostute. Siddheshwari Mahalakshmi Mata Namo Namaha. Fix it around the diya. Boliye Sri Mahalakshmi Mata ki jai. Devotees, let's concentrate on Devi for a few moments. We glorify Devi, Bhagwan Shankar, and then we will get into our discourse for the morning. देवी भवानी जगत जननी मंदहासिनी आनंददायिनी देवी भवानी जगत जननी देवी भवानी जगत जननी मंदहासिनी आनंददायिनी मंदहासिनी आनंददायिनी देवी भवानी जगत जननी देवी भवानी जगत जननी मंगलकारिणी कारुण्य मंगलकारिणी कारुण्य रूपिणी नारायणी देवी नारायणी हे नारायणी देवी नारायणी महिषमर्दिनी महिषमर्दिनी अम्बे भवानी देवी भवानी जगत जननी मंदहासिनी आनंददायिनी हे मंदहासिनी आनंददायिनी देवी भवानी जगत जननी हे देवी भवानी जगत जननी मंगलकारिणी कारुण्य रूपिणी मंगलकारिणी कारुण्य रूपिणी नारायणी देवी नारायणी हे नारायणी दुर्गा नारायणी नारायणी काली नारायणी हो नारायणी शारदा नारायणी हो नारायणी देवी नारायणी महिषमर्दिनी अम्बे भवानी महिषमर्दिनी अम्बे जननी मंदहासिनी आनंददायिनी हे मंदहासिनी आनंददायिनी देवी भवानी जगत जननी हे देवी भवानी जगत जननी देवी भवानी। बोली सी आदिशक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय। भोलेनाथ devotees, simple. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Raksha Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Raksha Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Raksha Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Raksha Mam. हे हर शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ, उमापति शिव भोलेनाथ। ओम शिव शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ, नीलकंठ हर दीनानाथ। ओम महिभूषण शिव गौरीनाथ, ओम अहिभूषण शिव गौरीनाथ। हे परम सुमंगल दीनानाथ, हे परम सुमंगल दीनानाथ। गिरिजारंगा परमानंद समाधि प्रिय गौरीनाथ। गिरिजारंगा परमानंद समाधि प्रिय गंगानाथ। ओम महिभूषण शिव गौरीनाथ, ओम अहिभूषण शिव गौरीनाथ। हे परम सुमंगल दीनानाथ, ओम परम सुमंगल दीनानाथ। गिरिजारंगा परमानंद समाधि प्रिय गंगानाथ। Shivaya. Om Namah 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 Shivaya. Bole Shri Umaپति Mahadeva ki jai. Devotees, we will for a moment concentrate on Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Remember last service I mentioned where Avadhoot received the final message of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. When Bhagavan Sri Krishna manifested 125 years afterwards, they said Brahma appeared before him and said, O Lord, you have fulfilled your various obligations based upon the desire of your devotees. But the time has come, O Lord, that you should return to your respective abode, Vaikuntha. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, O Brahma, that very same thought is in my mind. But there is still one thing I have to do. My clan, so to speak, they have become too powerful. And they are a danger to everyone and even to themselves. So there's just this one thing I have to do. I have to bring about their destruction. I cannot leave this terrible force that will create havoc everywhere in society. So in due course, I shall accede to your request, which is quite in order, but let me complete this one last duty. And so devotees, many of you have heard perhaps that Dwarka, which was on the western coast of India, sank. They were all in Dwarka. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna told all his kinsmen, let's leave from here and go to a place called Prabhas. Prabhas. Now, the intention was here to bring about destruction. But why would this happen, devotees? Let's go back a little bit. Amongst the Yadavas, there was one called Samba. And he had his friends and so on. They're all kinsmen of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. One day, a holy man, accompanied by others, walking through that city, and what these young men did, they took hold of Samba and they patted him up like, a pregnant woman. Put a stone, well, something like a stone, but wasn't a stone really, like metal, on his belly, tied it up, dressed him up like a woman, and they went to the sage and said, oh holy man, this is our sister. Tell us, what is she having, a boy or a girl? Now, they were actually, interfering with the sages, devotees. They didn't really want to know anything. The whole thing was a joke for them, but it's not good to interfere with holy ones. The sage said, oh, I can see what she's carrying there. Whatever she's carrying will be the cause of the destruction of your entire race. A shrap was given. Devotees, the holy ones, genuine holy ones, they have the power of the word. That shrap was given. These boys became very scared. But of course, that trick came to an end. They took out this, whatever it wasn't really stone, sort of metal-like. And they decided in their own thinking that, you know what, let's dispose of this. How? They tried to grind it to pieces, but it couldn't become powder. As best as they could, they ground it to pieces and they threw it into the ocean. And devotees, that ocean washed back everything, back on shore, the area they call Prabhas. And each piece of this metal, wherever it landed on the shore, a special type of grass grew up. It was called irka. It was like a sword, very, very hard, very, very stiff, like a sword. So there's a whole plantation of irka grass right there. A fish, there was one piece that couldn't really mash up any smaller, and a fish swallowed that. There was a hunter devotees who was fishing. And he caught this fish, and when he opened it, he got this piece of metal. So he thought it fit to make it into an arrowhead. So he took this and he fitted a piece of, he made an arrow with it. And he had that with him. Devotees. Now, we have to go back even a little bit before. When after the Mahabharata war, Gandhari, the blind queen, so to speak, she wasn't blind. Her husband was blind. But she had bandaged her eyes, so she wouldn't be any better than her husband. Sacrifice. And her eyes were open because before the battle she called Duryodhan. And she said, Duryodhan, oh my son, I want you to come before me naked as you were born. So devotees, Bhagavan Krishna is aware of everything, the Lord. Duryodhan did what he had to do and he was going towards his mother totally naked. Bhagavan Krishna met him and said, Duryodhan, where are you going? He said, my mother is calling me. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, well, have some shame, Naman. You're going before your mother naked, so a big man like you? Why don't you cover yourself before you go before your mother? Before your mother. And so devotees, Duryodhan confused, he covered his loin area and he went to his mother, who at that time loosed all that bandage, which for years she had over her eyes. But during all that time, that sacrifice, she developed plenty of power, which she wanted to transfer to her son. Man proposes, God disposes. When she asked Duryodhan, are you here naked? Yes, ma. He opened the bandage and she looked at Duryodhan, and like an energy, power, hit Duryodhan from head to foot, that strengthened every part of his body, except that area that was blocked off. When the mother saw that, she said, you fool, I told you to come naked before me? But what is done couldn't be undone. And devotees, we'll go on maybe some other time, but that was the weak spot in Duryodhan's body, where when the final battle, Bhim had to hit him on his thigh before he could destroy him. The only weak spot in his body. There's always a divine plan. Nothing happens by guess. Yeah? So devotees, Gandhari, at the end of the battle, she was very, very unhappy, pained, grieved. And she pronounced a curse on Lord Krishna. She said, oh Krishna, you could have stopped this battle. Of course, everybody blamed God, right? Everybody blamed God. You could have stopped this battle, but you allowed family to kill each other. I'm going to give you a shrap, Krishna. 36 years hence, you will be the cause of the destruction of your own family. Now imagine, the sacrifice she made, she had the power. But devotees, could a blade of grass ever move without the Lord's will? So in a deeper context, all this is part of Bhagavan Sri Krishna's will, the divine will. So 36 years was approaching, and this was what he was saying here, Let's go to Prabhas. He told Brahma, I want to destroy this family of mine, because they became not power hungry, they were overpowered by the power they had. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. They became alone to themselves and a danger to society. And Bhagwan's manifestation was to destroy evil forces, family or no family. So devotees, all that, I just give you a little background. So I'm going to take away from that sweetness of the story to come back to when Uddhav carried Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and the final message was given to Uddhav before everything happened, devotees. Uddhav, that Mumukshutva, Bhakt. Jagjasu, he really wanted to know God. So the last service I mentioned to you where, Uddhava asked certain questions and Bhagwan answered the questions, but a totally different dimension. So we won't go into all that. I believe it is still on YouTube. If you want to learn it, and you should, get it back, study it, understand it, and apply it. It's very important. Devotees, for instance, you might not remember. What is heaven? Where is heaven? Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, Uddhava, who asked that question? Uddhava, if the mind is imbued with sattva, sattvic prakriti, that is heaven. Not anyway a physical place somewhere. If the mind is imbued with sattvic prakriti, piety, truthfulness, etc., that is heaven. Where is hell? If the mind is imbued with tamas prakriti, overpowered by tamas prakriti, that is hell. So, you see, what happens is the qualities that exist inside of us that determine. This is the difference with Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the final message, to clarify for mankind. You think heaven is a place where you go and drink honey and milk? We drink honey and milk here every day. Panchamrit. You have to go to heaven for that? The state of mind. Sattvic prakriti, tamas prakriti, these two, heaven and hell. So devotees, heaven and hell is within you. Within each one of us is what we do. Yeah? And you want to be in a constant state of peace and whatever else, then sattva must exist. And if you really want problem, let tamas exist. And we can make it more complicated, A lot of these qualities are influenced by diet, food you eat. So it's so difficult you could become now. So once people hear food we eat, and we say certain types of food create tamas prakriti, then you don't want to hear why saying that all again. No. You prefer eating food and being in hell. This is how man behaves. Diet devotees, a man is a product of his thoughts. And the thoughts a man has to a great extent dependent on the food he eats. And a lot of the food that we eat create feelings within the mind. Certain types of food create depression. White flour is one. And we make everything with white flour. Yeah? Tastes well good. Doubles, aloo pie, etc., etc. Devotees, sometimes we become numb because of the kind of food that we eat. Try sattvic food, mightn't be so very tasty, but in this I'll say one thing more. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, O Uddhava, out of all these senses, the most difficult of all the senses to control is which one? The sense of taste. You must shut out, you don't hear something, you don't like it. Shut up, turn a blind eye. But you see the sense of taste, that is the most difficult to control. So, understand how all these things tie in? Eat all kind of things, drink all kind of things, it affects tamas prakriti, sattvic prakriti, everything goes to the food. But before food, taste. So devotees, nothing happens by guess. Yeah? So we have to bear that in mind, and if people want to really go to a different level, why do you think we ask you to fast when you have to do pujas and so on? You think you could do puja in tamas prakriti? You're fooling yourself. That won't happen. You have to be in sattvic prakriti. So the kind of food we eat is very, very important. So Bhagwan devotees, Jagat Guru, so many things he has given to us. I'm not putting a few points to you, and I keep saying, I try to live it myself, I can't make you live it. But I'm putting it to you. And you want to be in heaven, you know what to do. You might want to be in hell, but you're doing things to be in hell. The choice is yours. Okay? So devotees, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, O Uddhava, there was a certain king named was Yadu. And Yadu is a descendant of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. One day the Yadu was exposed to something that, very moved him. But before we go to how Yadu was moved, let us try to move ourselves a little bit we glorify Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Jagat Guru. Devotees visualize Leela Purushottam. And these things I'm putting to you, devotees, make sure you try to assimilate it. You won't always get these things. And maybe you need these things right now in your lives to give your life a different dimension. Don't waste the opportunity. Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda Radhe Krishna Murari Govinda Radhe Krishna Murari Govinda Ghana Shyama Murari Govinda Ghana Shyama Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda Manamohan Murari Gopala Manamohan Murari Gopala Radhe Shyama Murari Gopala Radhe Shyama Murari Gopala Giridhari Murari Govinda Ananda Sindhu Prabhu Nandalala Ananda Sindhu Prabhu Nandalala He Umapati Dev Prabhu Nandalala He Umapati Dev Prabhu Nandalala Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Govinda Giridhari Murari Devotees, so what I am presenting to you is to remind us from the Avadhoot Gita. But this part that I am reading is also in the Bhagavad Mahapuran, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna, his Leelas are reflected upon. So we take it from the Avadhoot Gita. Here, devotees, Sri Krishna Bhagavan is saying, O Uddho, this King Yadu, he saw an individual who we refer to as an Avadhoot. An Avadhoot, devotees, is someone who is not of the world, just a loincloth, naked so to speak otherwise, and just roaming everywhere. But we shall listen to how they behave, what attitudes. So Sri Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, Hey Uddho, Avadhootvam dvajang kachit charantam kutobhayam Kaving niriksha tarunang yadu papracha dharmavit. This young Brahman Avadhoot, roaming fearlessly everywhere. Yadu, very, very versed in religion, what is righteous, what is principle dharma, he said, Kuto buddhir young Brahma, na kartu suvisharadaha, yama sadhya bhava lokang, vidvans chariti balavat. O Brahman, you are free from all action as you are, from how you appear to be. Now listen carefully to the qualities. Right? Don't let the words lost. Every word has meaning. All right? You are free from action as you are. Whence have you got this excellent discernment, attaining which you roam all over the world as a child, although you are a sage? So, important words, free from action. How can a person be free from action? You see, you don't read just like that and talk just so. You have to analyze everything. If Gita says man can be free from action, cannot remain inactive even for a second, how can we be free from action? So this is where the understanding has to come in. So freedom from action, devotees, what it really implies that you cannot stop acting, but there is no sense of expectation of rewards. There is no sense of doership. Hope you could understand that. Very few of us could act, or none of us, I would say, could act without a sense of doership. I am doing this, you are doing that, you are doing that, you are doing nothing. All of us. If you do nothing, it's still I. There is a sense of doership. The Avadhoot is free from action. No sense of doership. No ego. Understand attitude? Where have you got this excellent discernment from? Discernment. Vairagya. We are saying time and again, in the world but not of the world. Which one of us like that? Some of us to a certain extent is better. Some of us, the slightest thing attract our mind and pull us away. Where is the discernment? This Avadhoot, excellent discernment. And he said, attaining which you roam all over the world like a child. A child devotees, notice the Sankaric, like 4 children, 5 years of age. They behave in such a way, children don't pay much attention to what is frightening, what is not, They go hold a snake and pick it up, they put their hand in fire. Adults will say, no, don't hold the snake, don't put a hand in fire. We the adults, we have more fear than everything else. The child is absence of fear, absence of any such feelings at all. If you want to go to God, you have all the command, all this kind of fear, etc. This is important, devotees. You roam over the world like a child, even though you are a sage. So I just thought I'd mention some of the little points, There's much more to it. The devotees, Yadu is reflecting on them. He said, Oh, Avadhoot, Prayo dharm artha kameshu vivitsayang chamanavaha hetu naiva samihante ayusho yashasahasriha. Most often, men exert themselves, men perform actions, etc., etc. Exert for what? Virtue. They want to become very virtuous. Wealth, most people. Desire, bring fulfillment. And even inquiry about the Atma. Some people, not material thing, but inquiring after the Atma. Who am I? What am I? Etc. But why they do that? Inquiry after the Atma. Yadu is very much aware of it. He says, and that too, with the motive of gaining longevity, fame, prosperity. Man carry out all these actions. Now tell me if this is not true, devotees. Every one of us. Yeah? If you could assimilate this and you could understand it. You do all these actions. That's why I see sometimes I keep saying, people say, I just want blessings. Why? Why? Because we need something that the blessings will bring us. Whether it's fame, longevity, whatever. So the king observed this individual devotees, that this saint was far removed from the ordinary man. Far removed from the ordinary man. This is why he was called an Avadhoot. Different from ordinary people. So he's saying, Twang tu kalpaha kabir datshaha subhago mrita bhashanaha na karta nehase kinchit yadon matta pishachavat. But you, O Avadhoot, in spite of being physical form, in spite of you being able physically, active, young. You see a young fella begging, see what he begging by? A young man, he could work hard. The fellow was strong, powerful, learned, dexterous, well-formed, physically, possessed of mellifluous speech. Neither work nor exert in the least, as if you are an idiot. You're behaving you have all these good qualities, you know, but how are you behaving? Like an idiot, a lunatic, a spirit. Why? In other words, devotees, you have the capacity to do so much, yet you do little, you do nothing. And devotees, compared to those who have very little bit of ability, and if you see showing off, showing off, want to project. Devotees, the Yadu, the king, is observing very, very closely attitude. And I keep saying, life is like an open book. Nobody could hide. Play whatever games, you can't hide. Yadu is picking up everything about this Avadhoot. Janeshu dahamaneshu kama lobha davagnina natapya segnina muktu gangam bhyastha eva dvipaha. While people are being scorched by the first fire of lust and greed. Correct? Everybody greedy. Either they want more money, greedy for food, greedy for power. Everybody greedy. Even for blessings, even for knowledge. But greed is here. He's not even greedy for that. Yeah? People are being scorched by the first fire of lust and greed. Don't talk about lust. Lust is Vaiterni, that river in hell, which I explained before. So Yadu is aware. People are being scorched by the first fire of lust and greed. You are not heated by this fire. Being free from its influence, like an elephant in the midst of Ganga water, have no effect. None of these things affect you, O Avadhoot, O Brahman. Do tell us who ask you, how do you derive bliss in yourself alone? Self, capital E-S-S-E-L-F. Untouched by sense objects, having a solitary life. If people hear solitary life, they die before they dead. Fear alone kills them, loneliness. Here, the Avadhoot. You are untouched by the sense objects, the things around you. Notice we started by speaking of the senses. I ain't talking by guessing on devotees. I'm trying to put you on a certain pathway of self-discipline. This is why I started with the Pancha Devta, the 5 Gyan Indriyas. Because these are the senses that go to the external world. But here he's saying, you are untouched by sense objects. So the senses are not affected by the external stimuli. You live a solitary life. How do you manage that? How do you manage that? What is the secret to be in this kind of condition? And devotees, if this is not supreme joy, tell me what is. So happiness don't cause him problem, pain don't cause him problem. He is unaffected. He is unaffected. Devotees. So the Avadhoot, listen to his answer and see how you can place yourselves where you are. The Brahman said, Santi me guruvo rajan, bahavo buddhi upasitaha, yato buddhim upadaya, mukto tamih tanasrinu. O Holy One, O King, the Brahman said, I have many teachers. So, straight away, you have to ask yourself, he's answering. The first thing he said, I have many teachers. That means that he learned whatever he has learned. He has become whatever he has become because of teacher. All you understand? You have to read into it. Guru. But you will hear the kind of guru we're talking about. You see, there has to be someone to guide you to put you on the pathway. Right? You may think that you could awaken the inner guru, yeah, but what will happen by the time you awaken him? Maya doesn't take you a long time. Devotees, he said, I have many teachers whom I have resorted to through the intellect. So the teachers, he resorted to them through intellect. And here now, come back, the intellect controls the mind, which controls the senses. If the intellect gross, the mind weak, senses like horses running all different directions, which is a norm in society. A norm, it happens. But if the intellect is enlightened, then it controls, disciplines the mind, which hold the reins to hold the senses under control. Everything is an internal journey, not outside. Everything is internal. So devotees, the intellect is so very important. And this is one of the reasons to we worship Suraj Narayan, which is intellect. You see the Murti, Suraj Narayan, you have the 7 horses. Yeah. I know recently for Kharwas, we hear a story about Suraj Narayan going with his chariot, and the horses get very tired. Very tired, and they couldn't pull the chariot with the same speed. So they came up to a pond. They were here. A pond is saying that. They came to a pond, and the horses, he wears them, but he finds 2 donkeys. And he harnessed the donkey to the chariot, and the donkey started to pull the chariot. So Suraj Narayan, the chariot had been pulled by 2 donkeys. So we got Kharwas. All understand that? If you don't, neither do I. All right? But have to have in a meaning. That is astronomical happenings. But people take it, you really think this is, you have all kind of telescope focusing on the sun. You really think that in today's world, they wouldn't see the horses pulling the sun? This is foolishness in our people. Hinduism is symbolic. Suraj Narayan is the intellect, the reins, the mind, the 7 horses, ears, eyes, nostrils, and tongue, the sense of taste. What do you think that is? It has everything to do with us. Who want to understand that? That Bhumbhuna was such a foolishness and remain in that state of ignorance. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. So devotees, intellect is so very important. Intellect. And those of you who have listened to when I explained Sutikshan Muni Katha, Sutikshan was in a state of intellect, right? Praying to Sri Ram, whatever. But then after a time, he himself believed, or saw the need. I need to go to a guru. And he went to Agastya Baba. And I explained that that is a movement from intellect to tikshan. Sharp, tikshan, smart, sharp in a good way. The enlightened intellect. Intellect moves to the point of intuition, going to August, the son of wisdom. All that is internal journey. So when you feel intellect is here, that is not the highest. There's still a state to go further on. Now if you don't know where you're going, devotees, how do you know when you reach? Or how do you know whether you're lost? And many are lost permanently, it would seem. They can't get back on track. These things are good to understand. Right? This is Gyan Bhakti. And all has to do with us. So devotees, the Avadhoot is saying, I resort to all the teachings of the Gurus through the intellect, receiving wisdom from them. Wisdom, Gyan, Ganesh. You can't go forward 1 step without Gyan. Everything tying in, you see, tying in. This is why we worship Gajanan first, to have the wisdom, right? This, the differentiating power. I roam the earth at large with these qualities. This preparation. With many teachers, I use intellect, I have analyzed closely, I gain wisdom. So I'm able to roam everywhere without fear, unaffected. And devotees, who are these gurus? I believe there were 24 gurus. 24 gurus. So I'll just put them to you and then we will look at a simple thing and he says, who are these gurus? Prithvi Vayur Akasham Apo Agni Chandrama Ravihi Kapoto Jagarha Sindhu Patango Madhukrit Gajaha Madhuha Harino Meena Pingla Kuraror Bhaka Kumari Sharakrit Sarpa Urnabhi Chupeshakrit. the earth. Listen to the gurus. Not man talking to them, This is why he said, I resorted to these gurus, these teachers, through intellect. So, not the guru sitting and talking like we're doing here, because what happened? We sit down and talk and nobody hear anything. We waste our time. I don't know how the learning will take place. I really don't know. We try. But devotees, here it shows the effort you have to make. No matter who's your guru. You know what? They say, Murkha Saushadhi Nasti. If you put nectar into a bamboo, it will not bear fruits. So to the foolish one, no matter what, if Brahma become your guru, you still won't learn. You have to know for yourself. This is why I keep saying it's an individual journey. And you see in today's world, everybody know why. Tell me if I lie. Everybody know. Why are you telling me? We know. Then why are we in this foolish condition? Suffering, pain. Why? Perhaps we know too much? Or we know what we're supposed to know? But devotees, the intellect is not used. The jnana is not extracted. You see? Follow what we said before. It's a process of learning. Learning. So devotees, understanding implies learning. You don't learn a few things and feel you know it. You have to live it, you have to experience it. So he's saying, look at his gurus. Earth, air, vayu. The sky, akash. Jal, apo. Fire, agni. The moon, chandra. The sun, Ravi. The pigeon, kabutar. The pigeon, he learned from the pigeon. The python, boa constrictor, well, that, the, what do you call him? Anaconda? Whatever. I learned from the sea. I learned from the moth, patang. I learned from the bee. I learned from the elephant. The honey gatherer, the deer, the fish, and a prostitute whose name was Pingala, the osprey. I learned from the child. I learned from the kanya, the maiden. I learned from the arrow maker. I learned from the snake. I learned from the spider, and a particular insect that is known as Brahmarkit. 24 gurus. Anyone is a man here? These, King, are the 24 teachers whom I have resorted to. From the characteristics, traits of these, I have gathered all my lessons. Hinduism, we are environmentalists. You don't only worship the sun and worship the earth and reverencing the devotees. You have to look at these and learn lessons from these that exist in Nitya. They were the Avadhoot telling us. So what lesson you learn from the youth? I'm asking you a question. You could answer me? Devotees? You see, we may not learn a lesson from the earth or from the sea. Everything had a lesson to teach us. Nitya teaches us. And this Avadhoot devotees, this is his direction. So I will just look at this one, earth. What does he learn from the earth? All of us are upon earth. And many people talk about the Earth Day and different things about Nitya and so on and what. This is the first mother devotees, Mother Earth. Teacher, sustainer. Yeah? Now, this is a very important point that the Avadhoot making for all of us. He is saying, Bhutair akramanyamanopi dhiro deva vashanugahe tad vidwan chalen marga danavang shiksham chitir vratam. The man of steady intellect should not, even though oppressed by creatures that are themselves under the sway of destiny, swerve away from his path. Being conversant with this fact, this is the trait I have learned from Mother Earth. Now, there are plenty of words, right? Put it simple. In life, devotees, many of us, we are faced with situations, sometimes neighbor humbugging us, wherever, whatever, you go to work, co-worker harassing you. I fed up paying them kind of thing. Guruji, my supervisor give me trouble. They come by me. Right? Instead of going to the boss, they come by me, the supervisor give me trouble. I have to ask, what do you want me to do? Kill him? What do you want me to do? Now, devotees, what I'm saying, these problems prevalent. People harassing you, people giving you problem. Who is free from that? Now look what the Avadhoot is saying. His lesson is learned from Mother Earth. Right? The man of steady intellect should not, even though oppressed, whoever trying to put pressure upon you, in whatever form, oppressed by creatures, others, who themselves are under the sway of destiny. The people who oppressing you, whatever, them have a happy life? They themselves are under the sway of destiny. They themselves are being oppressed. They themselves have their own problems. You have problems created by them. Here the Avadhoot is saying, why should I worry about them when they have their own problem? Think. Think. No matter what pressures are put upon me, that individual does not swerve from his path. No matter what, who tried to put pressure upon you, you ignore totally. This forbearance I have learned from Mother Earth. Devotees and people do all kind of things with the earth. Dig it up, do all kind of things on the earth. I don't want to go into any kind of despicable statements here. You know, earth is always your mother. The earth maintains her characteristics, attitudes, etc. If you put it like that. The Avadhoot is saying, I learned this from Mother Earth. I don't compromise. No matter what, you could say what you want. In other words, he's insulated from all these foolishness people around. And the thing is that you taking on somebody who have their own problem. Rama in Devotee, Sri Ram said, remember Parvashan Parvar Katha? Bundaya ghata sahi giri kaise, khal ki bachan, santa sahajaise. Look at the mountain. And the next statement here, the Avadhoot made that also. You look at the mountain, you look at the trees, devotees, rains fall and buffeting the mountain. Right? The birds could go into the nest, the animals could go into the cave. Where does the mountain go? Where could the trees go? The stadium would stand the buffeting. But Sri Ram said, Ubhaya Lakshman, the holy ones, the saint, the one with the right thinking, right attitudes, this is the way they tolerate all the abuses, whatever from dushta, those wicked ones, because words do kill. Let them talk what they want, behave what. But I stretch it one step further, devotees. When the rains have beaten themselves out, how does a mountain look? Greener than before, more beautiful than before. But if you play cuss for cuss, then devotees, who better than who? Follow? And this is something in society that causes our problems. I have to show you I am a man. You can't tell me that, I will show you. That is our attitude. Stupidity. No. So the Avadhoot devotees is saying, from the earth I have learned this lesson. Yeah? The good man should learn from the hill, mountains, how one should always direct one's entire actions to the good of others. And one's very birth should be absolutely for the sake of others. While as a disciple of trees, he should learn how to be at the disposal of others. So the mountain devotees, the mountain satisfies others. Without mountains, you won't get rains. And the mountain itself, sometimes you get flood, but what causes the flood? When people cut down all the mountain, all the trees, something, and the water rushes down, then you flood the plains. Who created? Not the mountain, man. Man creates it. Right? But the mountains themselves, devotees, a lot of rivers stem from the mountains themselves, come down and man benefits from that. Be like the mountain. He said, this is where I learned my lesson from the mountain. And the trees. How much time we have heard that, devotees? All ever hear a river drink its own water? Fruit tree eating its own fruits? Here, The Avadhoot says, I have learned from the trees that life must be a sacrifice for others. No selfishness. Not for yourself only. Devotees. What the bhajan says. If you know it, join me. I'm not sure if I could remember it. नदियाँ न पिए कभी अपना जल, वृक्ष न खाए कभी अपने फल। नदियाँ न पिए कभी अपना जल, वृक्ष न खाए कभी अपने फल। अपने तन का, मन का, धन का दूजों को दे जो दान है, ये सच्चा इंसान रे इस धरती का भगवान है। नदियाँ न पिए कभी अपना जल, वृक्ष न खाए कभी अपनी फल। अगर से जिसका अंग जले दुनिया को मीठी सुवास दे, अगर से जिसका अंग जले दुनिया को मीठी सुवास दे, दीपक सा उसका जीवन है जो दूजों को अपना प्रकाश दे, दूजों को अपना प्रकाश दे। धर्म है जिसका भगवत गीता, धर्म है जिसका भगवत गीता, सेवा ही वेद पुराण है, ये सच्चा इंसान रे इस धरती का भगवान है। नदियाँ न पिए कभी अपना जल, वृक्ष न खाए कभी अपनी फल। चाहे कोई गुण गान करे, चाहे करे निंदा कोई, चाहे कोई गुण गान करे, चाहे करे निंदा कोई। फूलों से कोई सत्कार करे या कांटे छबो जाए कोई, कांटे छबो जाए कोई। मान और अपमान ही दोनों मान और अपमान ही दोनों जिसके लिए समान है, ये सच्चा इंसान रे इस धरती का भगवान है। नदियाँ न पिए कभी अपना जल, वृक्ष न खाए कभी अपनी फल। अपने तन का, मन का, धन का दूजों को दे जो दान है, ये सच्चा इंसान रे इस धरती का भगवान है। नदियाँ न पिए कभी अपना जल, वृक्ष न खाए कभी अपनी फल। So devotees, these beautiful sayings that we have in bhajans and so on, all these emanate from scriptures. And it starts with our attitude in life. We all know that nobody does anything without expectation. Who does anything for nothing? Who? You have to get close into your own head. Sometimes I'll say we do things, yes, but for blessings. And ask why. That in itself is a desire. Now it's very difficult to reach a stage of doing things just to do it, for the sake of doing it. Now that could only happen when you see you empty yourself of the ego. You're not the actor, you're just the instrument. But devotees, we have to understand what the ideal is. We have to go there. So this is what we are told. No selfishness. No selfishness. Selfless activity. Do things for the benefit of others. So devotees, the example in nature. A light. Put others in light, look at the bulb. It blows itself out. Put in others in light. And when bulb will go, throw it away, pelt it away. Get next one. But the bulb will shine. The light will put others in light, but burning itself out. Can we be like that? Sometimes you want to be like that, and sometimes your own family say, you're killing yourself for nothing for. What are you doing that for them for? Let me go into negative things, but we all know these things happen in life. How we expect life to be better, devotees? Now this masses can't become so all of a sudden. I've come to the conclusion individuals have to change. This is why I'm making these points. For the individuals. I can't change the world. An individual to you change, we can bring about some change in the world. But you have to want to change. Devotees, look at the gardener, cuts the rose from its resting place, the rose tree. But the rose will still give scent to the hand of the gardener. The bhajan says, devotees, the rivers don't drink their own water. Fruit trees don't eat their own fruits. Live for others. Follow the scriptures. But there's something you have to pay attention to. Man or apman. Chahe koi gungan kare, chahe kore ninda koi. Some may praise you, some will criticize you. Verify you. Based upon their own imperfections. You going to worry about that? Devotees, man or apman, praise and infamy, treat both alike. They'll be affected. This is the way of the world. Life is like a flower in full bloom. We should give it away, petals, scent and all, to that gardener who brought it into existence. Service to humanity, service to God, not selfishness. And devotees, when you act in this kind of way, you don't have to go looking for the world. The world comes at your feet. I'm telling you that. But if you think otherwise and be greedy and pursue selfishness, you're going to lose everything at the end of it all. And I will end with one example from Ramayana. Remember Jatayu? Sita was abducted by Ravan. Jatayu saw someone in distress. And Jatayu, he attempted to stop Ravan, tried to protect Sita, serving others at the expense of his own life. Ravan cut off both his wings, he fell to the ground. Fatally wounded, just a matter of time now. But he remained there, devotees. Ram, Ram, Hey Ram. And those who follow Ramayana would know that Sri Ram, Lakshman, Bhaiya, they're searching for Sita and they came upon Jatayu. Two examples here, Sri Ram himself and Jatayu. Sri Ram had his own problems. But when he saw Jatayu, he forgot his own problems. Jatayu's problem was everything for him. We, the Ramayana devotees, you will understand that. And Jatayu, he kept life in his body just to tell Sri Ram, Prabhu, that Ravan has abducted Sita, took her in a southern direction. Sita was screaming like the osprey, the Kurari bird. Oh Prabhu. And then at that point in time, devotees, life ebbing away. Sri Ram very, very pleased with Jatayu. He's the Lord, acting as a man amongst men. He said, oh Jatayu, oh friend, remain in this body of yours. I'll give you back your life. I'll give you back your life. Then Jatayu smiled, if a Kubuku smiled. In his own way, he said, Lord, at the point of my death, you are standing before me here. When would such an opportunity come again? Samay na awat barambar. Would I get this opportunity to see you again at the point of death later on? Here am I in this low body of mine. And I know for a fact, when I die with you in front of me, I'm seeing you. Where I'm going will be different. No, I don't want to remain in this body, O Lord. Then Sri Ram, the Lord, showing us what Karma Yoga is all about. He said, O Jatayu, where you are going, it is through no favor of mine, but it is through your own karma. You are going to go to the Supreme Abode, my abode. Why? Parupakar. You have sacrificed your life for others. Nothing is difficult to achieve. Freedom from bondage. Even freedom from bondage will come through Parupakar. And I said, devotees, this Lord's word, and who's Bhagavan Sri Krishna here telling Uddhav, that time he was telling Nikovo, Jatayu, Parupakar, the highest good, service to humanity. You shall gain to the highest level. And so devotee Jatayu died, and then what happened? There, that Atma, so to speak, if you want to put it, however you want to put it, appeared. How? Sasankha Chakram Sakirita Kundalam, forearm form of Lord Vishnu. See, Ram is Vishnu Bhagwan. Jatayu appeared in the form of the aspect of divinity he worshipped. There are four means of liberation basically. Samipis, Salupis, Salok, Salokyan, Sayujya. Sarupya, you assume the form of that aspect of divinity that you worship, which was what Jatayu got. For doing what? Kobo? He went to save Sita. No name, no fame, nothing. He went to save Sita, seeing someone in distress. Paropakar. And devotees. He died, yes, but he gave up that low form and he attained one of the highest form, the form of divinity, freedom from bondage. All you understand? Selfishness will bind you. Selflessness will free you. So, whenever you do anything, you must ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is my expectation? And don't ever forget, expectation, asha dukhasya karanam. Expectation is the cause of your unhappiness. What does that mean? You might not get what you're looking for. Or you get it, it makes you unhappy also. Different dimensions of that. Ramifications outside devotees. So I want you all to bear that in mind. The Lord has taught us to be in this kind of way. Devotees, the same Uddhava Gita, Bhagavan said in Satyug, people worship the dharma in form of a bull. What do you mean? 4 legs. Dharma had 4 feet. 4 feet, 4 legs. Satya, Saush, Daya, and Dan. You see, in Satyug, everybody maintained those most efficiently. They had to do too much more meditation and so on and so forth. They maintained all these principles. But with the passing of time, devotees, dharma will stand on 4 feet. It stands on 4 feet. Dharam Kaman, Satya, Sauch, Daya, and Dan. Satya means truth. Daya is compassion. Sauch is cleanliness. And charity. Devotees, with the passing of each age, this poor bull lose 1 leg every age. So coming down, in Treta, 1 leg gone. Dwapar, next leg gone. In Kali Yuga, Dharma is standing only on 1 leg. You know what that is? Dan, charity. People still giving charity. Give a go, Nana. Give Mahapatra gold cow. They like to give, but with an expectation, of course. It is easier to get money out of a man than to get the truth out of him. Believe that. And with the passing of time in Kali Yuga, even that Dan, go back, check back what I shared the last program when Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, what is true charity? Check it and see. So even what charity is given, analyze what is it. Dharma devotees falling apart badly. Yeah. So don't feel too much anything about it, but she keep individually analyze. I could be in temple every day, catching power, praying. I say this all the time. But am I maintaining the principles? Or I just come here for a time and do all this, and for a few moments feel good, when I go back, my life going back to normal. That's not going to help you, You have to become like this. And then devotees, believe me, your life will be different. Believe me. Okay? So this morning I'm emphasizing again that life is an individual journey. It's what you do, each person. And last night I mentioned, I keep thinking all about God, however you refer to him, is the indweller inside of you. You can't hide. You can't fool him. And not to mention Chitragupta. Was yet you can't fool him. Don't play games. Be honest, sincere, genuine, and feel free. So then you know what? You have no skeletons in the cupboard who will come out clanking and take you when they see you wanting to be different. They come and throw you over. Life is what you make it. Life is what we make it, devotees. And nobody is perfect. But if I can take a vow from this point in time, now that I'm going to try my best to be like this, yes, you're going to get success. You're going to get success. Because Bhagwan no matter what, even the sinners, he has freedom when they turn to him. They surrender to him. Okay? So I'm asking you all to go a little more beyond the surface now. Go deeper. Go deeper. And let's make life what it's supposed to be. So devotees will glorify Sri Ram as we conclude, make preparation for the final Havan. These teachings could be quite boring, but devotees will help us. And you know how you really know? When you're in a situation confronts you, then you're tested. You have to think twice before you do something, or it's spontaneous. Your actions, your goodness, is it spontaneous? I believe in spontaneity. Not prepared, feigned. Are we prepared to give down? Are we prepared to do good? It must be part of you. Wherever time, place, circumstance, this is how you are. Devotees, this is the example taught to us by Bhagavan Sri Ram, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, those two major manifestations who came to re-establish Dharma. So, we concentrate on Sri Ram, Maryada Purushottam. Raham Raham Bhajuman Hare Hare. Raham Raham Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Raham Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Dina Bandhu Kripa Sindhu Antaryami Tribhuvan Swami. Antaryami Tribhuvan Swami. Raham Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Puran Kama Jai Shri Rama. He Raghurama, He Paradhama. He Raghurama, He Paradhama. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Raghukul Bhushan Janaki Jeevan. He Raghunath, He Paramnath. He Raghunath, He Mamanath. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Ram Ram Bhajuman Hare Hare. Dasharath Nandan Bhav Bhai Bhanjan. कहतौ महापति सुनु जग प्राणी. कहतौ महापति सुनु जग प्राणी. राम राम भजुमन हरे हरे. हे राम राम भजुमन हरे हरे. राम राम भजु मन हरे हरे, राम राम भजु मन हरे हरे, हे राम राम भजु मन हरे हरे, राम राम भजु मन। बोलिए श्री राजा रामचंद्र की जय। गंगनपते नमः स्वाहा, श्री गौरी माता स्वाहा, श्री पृथ्वी माता स्वाहा, पंचलोकपाल देवाय स्वाहा, ओम नमो नारायणाय स्वाहा, ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा, श्री सूर्यारि नवग्रह देवाय स्वाहा, ओम श्री ब्रह्मग्नये नमः स्वाहा, ओम ह्रीं श्रीं चंडिकायै नमः स्वाहा, ओम क्रीं कालियै नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री लक्ष्मी माताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, श्रीं ह्रीं सरस्वत्यै स्वाहा, ओम श्री हनुमते नमः स्वाहा, ईश्वरी देवी स्वाहा, श्री परमेश्वरी देवी स्वाहा, शीतला देवी स्वाहा, महाअन्नपूर्णा देवी स्वाहा, ओम श्री मंगला देवी स्वाहा, ओम श्री चंदी देवी स्वाहा, ओम श्री मनसा देवी स्वाहा, ओम ह्रीं षष्ठी देव्यै स्वाहा, ओम सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री सीतारामचंद्रायभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, राधा कृष्णाय नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री इष्टदेवाय स्वाहा, ओम श्री कुलदेवाय स्वाहा, ओम श्री अष्टान देवाय स्वाहा, ओम श्री ग्राम देवाय स्वाहा, ओम श्री इतर कर्म प्रधान देवाय स्वाहा, 5 times again, ओम श्री वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा, ओम श्री 33 करोड़ देवताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, ओम सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री अनंत स्वरूपाय ब्रह्मणे नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री गुरुवे नमः स्वाहा। वशहांजलि थाली। Please all stand, devotees. We concentrate on Bhagavan Shankar. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shambhavaya cha Mayobhavaya cha. Namah Sankaraya cha Mayaskaraya cha. Shivaya cha Shivtaraya cha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Purnamidah Purnamidam. Purnata Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya. Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Achman 3 times. Om Sarva Papaharam Divyam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanam Chamaya Dattam Grihitam Purushottamaha Brahmagnaye Namaha. Bow to the fire 5 times. Devotees, we join together in our Arati. Anyone you want to play?
Jai Jai Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakta Jano ke sankat दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी ठाकुर तुम मेरे, अपने हाथ उठाओ, अपने हाथ उठाओ, द्वार परा तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा, स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन के सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
We join together as we conclude devotees. C sharp. शिव हरे शिव राम सखी प्रभु, त्रिविध तप निवारण हे विभु। अज जनेश्वर यादव पाहि मां, शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं, शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं। प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जय मङ्गलं, प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जय मङ्गलम्। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुध्वज, मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलायतनो हरि। ओम आवाहनम न जानामि विसर्जनम, पूजां चैव न जानामि, क्षम्यतां परमेश्वर परमेश्वरी। ओम गच्छ गच्छुरश्रेष्ठ स्वस्थानि परमेश्वर, यत् ब्रह्मादयो देवास्तत्र गच्छुतासन। ओम लाभस्तेषां जयस्तेषां, कुतस्तेषां पराजया, येषाम् इन्दिवर्षामो हृदयस्तु जनार्दन। ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम गच्छ त्वं भगवन् अग्नि स्वस्थानि कुन्दमध्यतः, हुतम् आदाय देवेभ्यः शीघ्र देहि प्रसीद मे। ओम मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं गणेश्वर, हे परमेश्वरी, हे सदाशिव, हे जनार्दन, हे कपीश्वर, यत्पूजितं मया देवा हे देवी माँ, परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम शांति शांति शांति, हरि ओम। गर्व से कहो, गर्व से कहो, गर्व से कहो, बोलिए श्री स्वाहा माता की, बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की। बैठ जाइए प्लीज, भी सीधी बोलिए।
Sitaram. Today, GDKM's Social Services Cafeteria has macaroni pie and beans at a cost of $20. You can patronize with them this morning and look forward to enticing monthly menus as they continue to look after us. We wish you a safe journey back home and look forward to joining with you again next week Sunday as service continues as usual. Sitaram.
Devotees, this morning we say blessings to Shanta and Ronald. Nice to have you sit and performing Havan. For those of you who may not know, Shanta and Ronald, the daughter and son-in-law of Nevi and Danny Manohar, and the sister of Avinash, how do you call him? Blessings to you all for having joined us here this morning. And any special reason? Anniversary. When is the anniversary? Next week. How many years? 40? How much? 13 years? Okay, 13 wedding anniversary. Congratulations. And you know, there is something with the number 13. So it is my little experience that I shouldn't say this, before you make your self-fulfilling prophecy, Sometimes the 13th year in marriage and so on, you have little challenges. Yeah? And sometimes the challenges come on the outside, sometimes they come inside. So whatever challenges, we are here to make sure that they don't overpower you. And once you successfully override this, again you continue going. Challenges will be there, but success will come. You have plenty support systems. Just don't allow internally for other challenges to affect you adversely. Okay? So blessings, we are here. Don't worry. Anything, let us know. Right? But next year, for the next year, so a little up and down and thing. Right? Shanta, Nevi might want to quarrel with you on thing. So look out for all that. Okay? So many more happy years ahead of you. Keep it going. Wonderful to celebrate in this kind of way. And devotees, let me also say belated happy birthday to Inshan. Yesterday was his birthday. And it was nice to see that, you came from so very far, Shan and Fazia. Quite precise. I saw you, but I wasn't sure what you were seeing. They say seeing is believing, but you can't be too sure. But it was the first time for quite a while I saw you without mask on. So if you had the mask, I sure was you all. Yeah. Then Raj told me that you all came. I was very happy with that. Blessings. And for those of you who went to the moving Prayag yesterday to celebrate the 30th anniversary of incorporation of SWAHA, blessings to you. Also, it was the 15th death anniversary of our Shankaracharya. Blessings. It was nice of you to go and join together with us. Ishan and Fazia, they came quite from inside Kumuto, behind God back. Yeah. But they like to come out once a week to come in front of God's face. So this is good. Enjoy. But the day has gone by, Ishan, and many more ahead of you. And both of you. Keep it going. And remember, you have been saying, God, the divine. Life, nothing empty, but except divinity. Life is everything, yes, but without divinity, nothing. And you're aspiring to, gravitate towards that divine. Keep that journey going. Blessings. Belated happy birthday. And so devotees, anybody else birthday I'll leave out? Oh, my goodness. I forgot to mention the 95th birth anniversary of Upati. Upati celebrated on the 95th birthday, what day it was. So belated happy birthday to Upati. Right? Blessings, Upati. I almost forgot you. And also, my daughter's birthday was Tuesday, Sharvani. So a lot of Aries people around. So happy birthday to all the Arians around. The world is a much better place without you. Okay. So blessings, devotees, and we look forward to seeing you next week Sunday. Stand up, Ronald. And I didn't say Shanta yet, You disobeyed me. Tell them, Sakal Punch. Blessings, devotees, and as you heard, macaroni pie I talk about food. And macaroni pie is more like white flour and so on, cheese and thing, and that is lead to depression. Buy it and eat it. And check it out and see. See the effect of it. Okay? Blessings.